That's good. Well, thank you so much, everybody. It's my pleasure meeting you. Well, I saw you on what was it? Wednesday, Tuesday? I don't know. Time flies right now. But again, thank you so much for being here today, and congratulations to all of you first. For the efforts that you do, for being consistent with your classes, and also thank you for your teacher Antonio Lobo. He's a great teacher. Every time that we come to his class, that this is the second time that we come already. We came to the past class before you guys, and we always see smiling people is always like on time, and that speaks highly. Why? Because we notice that people is attending to classes, they like them. So again, thank you so much to Antonio, and also would like to thank the my team, the career coaching team. They are here on the call right now. Thais and Wilfrix, thank you so much for being here today. And well, first, let's do a little bit of recapitulation of what happened on the previous weeks. Well, in the previous session, sorry, in the other workshops. Can anyone in the room tell me what was the workshop that Thais gave yesterday? What she talked about?
She talk about resume.
Resume.
Is there anything that El Cenis, is that how you say that?
Yes.
Is that how you say your name? El Cenis. So
Yes.
El Cenis, what did you learn yesterday? I know that you talk about resume. So is there anything that was key for you, something that you learned?
Um, the Thais talk about the resume and how you apply for job for such job and about the skills about um, the the professional uh, how profession you choose, no, and
That's
and the
good.
and
Now
how
El
many
Cenis,
skills you need for job,
that's
some
nice.
jobs.
Now El Cenis, now only because I see that you are really confident because you are the one who's speaking out. So that's a good sign. Could you tell me from the skills that you saw with Thais yesterday, which one do you think is a skill from you?
For me,
Yes, like which skill do you think you have? You can tell me just one.
oh,
I know that you have many.
depende the job, depende the job. If you search for job, the secretary or receptionist or chiller,
Customer
bank chiller, teller, you need some skills. You need to be honest. You need to be organization. You need to be good communication. Resolve solutions. Resolve solutions problems and be polite.
Thank you so much, Elsenis. Well, those are all great skills. So now, is there anyone else that would like to share another skill that they learned that they have, or something that you identify having the session with Thais or with Wilfried?
Oh, can you repeat, please? The sound is very down.
Don't worry. I'm
Okay.
asking if there's anyone else in the room who wants to share also something that they learned.
Um,
Anyone else? El Cenis, she shared a lot. Now, I see Carla here. I see Aisha. I see Vinta. Do you want to share something, Domingos? I see that you are on mute. Do you want to say something, Domingo? What did you learn?
Uh, Yesterday, I learned a lot about the cover letter, the resume, why you doing your resume, why you doing your cover letter. It is for charge job, search job.
Thank you so much, Domingos. Well,
You
as you can see, you all have been learning a lot of things. And I know that it's a lot of information to process. And we'll make sure that you all receive all the presentations that we've been doing. So you'll review it at home, okay? So we're gonna share that with Antonio, your professor, so you have it, okay? So
Thank you.
why I am here today, okay? Let me introduce myself again. My name is Oscar Escobar. I am the Economic Integration Manager here at English for Novo Estonians, not director. Again, thank you, Antonio, for the promotion. Someday I'll be as the director. I hope. Let's see what happens. But I need to work a lot first. I need to work a lot. So
You're getting there. You're getting there.
I'm getting there. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
So what do? I oversee or I manage and supervise the career coaching program and other initiatives in English for Novo Estonians. Now, I know that Wilfred's already told you what English for Novo Estonians is, what do we stand for. And again, thank you so much for being in this class and being so consistent. We're really proud of you. Now,
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
so what I'm gonna be talking about today. Today, well, we first talk with Wilfred about how to work on a resume. Then we'll work with Thais, we talk about the job search and why cover letters are so important. So now we're gonna talk about how to master a job interview. Okay. So
How
today,
to,
How to
I'm sorry,
master.
how to what?
how to
Master.
master a job
Oh,
interview.
master. Okay.
How to be a really good and have really good practice with job interview to be
Okay.
to an employer say, you know what, I wanna hire Carla. She might not be the perfect candidate in the way that she has every single thing that I'm asking for, but she shine in her job interview and I want to hire her. Or I want to hire Oscar because, you know, he probably doesn't have that much of experience, but he was really good in his interview. And that, in this example that I'm telling you all, happens more often than you think. Why? Because sometimes we read a job description and we might think, well, I don't think I'm a good fit. Or you know what, I'm missing, you know, this qualification that they are asking for. And because of that, I might think, you know what, I won't apply. I will stay that in doing what I'm doing right now. Or, you know, probably we have a lot of experience from our home countries. And you might say, you know, I'm here in the United States, but I don't know if what I was doing in my country is good enough. Probably I'm not the good fit. And we don't apply. But let me tell you something. All of the experience that we have built, all of the experience that we have been collecting throughout all of our life years that we have been working, all of that, if you put that together, is going to help us to be a better candidate. And for that is why we have the job interviews. Because in the job interview is where I'm going to sell myself. No, it's not the opposite, where the employer or the company, they should not convince us to work for them. It's the other way. We want to tell them, you know what, this is why I'm good. This is why I'm the perfect candidate. And then they will say, you know what, he's a really good candidate. Let's offer him more money. Let's offer him more things. You know, we want this person to work for us. That's what we want to do, right? It's like when you go to a market, you go to, you know, an open market, a mercadito, some people might say that, and you see two people, right? You see two sellers. One has a really, really nice apple, crispy apple. It's really red, really shiny. And another person, he has an apple that it might not look so good from the outside. It might have a bump, you know, it might have like a brown spot, but that apple tastes better. So how is that person is going to convince me that I should buy that apple instead of the really nice and shiny one, right? So this pictures ourselves as that. We are the sellers, and ourselves, everything that we know, all of the experience that we have, we need to know and learn how to sell it. We need to learn how to sell ourselves, because that's also going to put our price point, which is our salary. So we want to be the best candidate that they need, so they can say, you know what, this won't work. We need to say, you know, I am the best candidate that you have. So going back to the actual topic, what is really important for us to keep in mind when we're heading into a job interview? So the first thing is to research the company and who is going to interview me. How? What is that? So let's say I'm applying to, I don't know, the Massachusetts General Hospital, okay? What I might know about, I might
Bless
know that the
you.
hospital, no worries. I might know that the hospital is really large. I know that the hospital is downtown. I know that they have doctors, that they have this, that they have that. But probably I didn't know that the hospital does a lot of community work and that I'm really interested in the community work that they do. Or probably didn't know that the hospital that has these different benefits that I'm really interested about. So doing the research on the company that we are applying is really important because also we might find things that we don't like about the company. Not everything is good and nice. Even, you know, looking up online and looking for reviews of the companies, there's a lot of websites where we can find like Glassdoor. I'm gonna share that with all of you. In Glassdoor, we can find the reviews that employees give about a certain company. If you go now and you look, let's say, Market Basket, you look for Market Basket and you can see the reviews that other employees of Market Basket are saying about Market Basket. And that can tell us two stories. Is people liking it there? So if people is liking it, will I like it if I apply there? Or probably people can say, you know what, this is not a really good place to work. I don't want to work there. So doing our research help us to understand better if that company or place that we're applying to is actually a good fit to us. Now, it's also really important to practice our answer and answer our quest to practice our possible answers to the question that I might have in a job interview. And I'm gonna show you that later how that looks. But for that, we also need to know, study the job description. What is that job posting that a company is posting, and see what things do I have, what things am I missing, am I a good fit considering, and just keep in mind this that I'm gonna tell you. From all of the people who apply for a particular job, no one, listen to me, no one has all of the requirements of qualification that a job description is asking for. So keep that in mind, that if you're looking for a job description, you don't need to have every single qualification that the job description is asking for. Okay? And it's also really good, a good practice to have a friend, to have someone who can help us doing a practice round. Sometimes a practice round can look like, you know, as if you were hypothetically in a job interview and they do practice questions to you. That's also really important, like something that we can always do. And again, I will show you more about this and how it looks later. So, and always be prepared with examples of what that job looks like. Because for example, if I tell you, you know what, El Cenis, I have a job right now available to you if you want to look it up, that is in the food industry. And you might think, oh, is that like a restaurant? And you might go and apply and you thought that was in a restaurant setting because I told you it was food industry. And then in the other hand, probably was a job in a food manufacturing industry, let's say in a factory. And you didn't know because you didn't do your research, right? So that's the importance why we need to do our research and always be prepared for that job interview that we're doing. Now, this is really important and I don't want to miss it, okay? Dress code. What is that? Can anyone here in the room tell me what is dress code?
It's like you have to how you're gonna look when you go to the interview.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Dress code is all of the rules of how I should look like for a job interview, right? And what is that? All right, so here we put an example on the difference between 2019 and 2020. Can anyone tell me what happened in 2020? Just look at the picture and imagine what happened in 2020.
Disaster.
Disaster, the pandemic, COVID. All right. And why is that? Why we're showing you this picture? You know, in 2019, and again, not everyone wears a tie and a suit, you're right, in their jobs, but this is just a silly example. So what happened during the pandemic? A lot of people was working from home. A lot of people didn't have jobs. And this is what is an example of how people was looking like before the pandemic. They were always dressing for work, either with a uniform, with just a shirt and jeans, shirt and like just like a dress pant, or again, probably with a uniform. And then 2020 happened, and then we have a guy that was taking, you know, a meeting with the half of his attire. He was wearing a suit, but he was only wearing underwear or a short. And the next day he was wearing like suit pants and a t-shirt, and then by Friday he was already like, you know, all spilled with pizza because I don't know, probably this person didn't have a job during the pandemic. So, and now considering all of this, we need to go back, right? We need to think back and say, okay, I'm now ready to look for a job. What is that common practices that I need to bring back? And one is dress properly for the position and the organization. Now, and when I say dress properly, now see this as a silly example. If I am applying for a mechanic job, do you think that I should go to my job interview wearing a suit?
No.
No. What do you think I should be wearing, Leticia? If I want to make, let's make something clear here. I want to make a good impression, but I also don't want to be, you know, overdressed, but I also don't want to be underdressed, right? What do you think I should wear to my job interview if I'm applying to be a mechanic in AutoZone?
You can put a suit.
No,
But
nothing.
don't need the tuxedo. We go
Right,
in
you don't need a tuxedo.
Yeah.
But you can never go wrong with a nice pair of jeans, with a nice pair of pants, and a shirt. That's it. Something casual, something that is all right. I'm not overdressed, like I'm not coming with a suit, but I'm also didn't come in shorts, like I didn't care about the job, right?
Yeah,
Those are the two differences, right? You need to show that you are committed, that you're someone who is, you know, well presented, and someone who can also represent the organization, that can represent the company. They don't want, even if you're gonna be like, you know, with grease in your hands, they don't want you like to be a dirty person, because that means that you could be someone who works dirty, someone who is not organized, someone who doesn't pay attention to details. And a picture of someone can tell a lot of details that it can make a decision into someone who is hiring, okay? So this is why we need to pay attention to those little details. Now, this is something that is happening really often now, and this is a common practice. A lot of job interviews now are happening like this, in a web camera, all right? They're happening in a Zoom camera. Sometimes, you know, companies, they have the first interview by Zoom, and probably a second interview will be in person. So, and again, a lot of places, they call you first, they do a Zoom call before bringing you in. Why? Because they are saving time, and two, because this also, they want to see people from different perspectives. Now, let's make an exercise really quick. I'll stop sharing my screen really quick, and I will change my camera. Can everyone see me now?
Yes, we can
All
see
right.
you.
So let's pretend I'm in a job interview, okay? Hi, how are you? I am Oscar. How's everything today? Thank you so much. Well, yes, I'm really interested about their job. Oh, I'm sorry, my baby. You know,
Oh, hell no. No,
really
no.
interested about that job, and oh wow, I'm sorry. I need to go and like turn on the light. And can you hear me well? Can you hear me well? Oh, sorry, my dog again. Okay. So now check this out. Just I will state like this, okay? Do you all notice a difference from my camera before? Did anyone notice that?
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Before, I was looking directly to you.
Yes.
All right. This way, it feels like I'm seeing you to the eyes, right?
Yeah.
It feels like I'm connecting with you. But what if I was talking to you this way and you were interviewing me? Oh, yes, I really want to work with you, but I'm not really sure. I don't know how to use Zoom. My daughter just helped me, and you know, it doesn't feel like I have a connection with you. Even though you might be the perfect candidate, but those little details speak a lot.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm not asked. I have a really good, nice camera here because I do a lot of videos and a lot. My job is a lot of meetings, right? So I need to have a nice setup. Not a lot of people have a computer, and I'm not asking you. You know what, Aisha, you need to get a nice computer and a nice camera to be in the job interview. We have
Yes,
our cell phones.
correct.
So what can take us a long way? They sell like these $10 tripods in Amazon, for example. You can buy a $10 tripod in CVS. You put your cell phone, you mount it, you find a room that is like nicer with a little bit better lighting, and you set it up right in front of you. And that way you're connecting with the employer. Just those little details. All right.
Yeah.
So I will keep sharing my screen. All right. So moving on, and I will get about that later as we keep talking. Now, as I was saying, the first impression is really important. Why? Because a first impression, it only takes 7 seconds, all right? I meet someone, and the first 7 seconds are really important because those 7 seconds are gonna tell me a lot about the people, about that person. And now, if you think about it, that's sad because we have, and we make our impressions based in our idea of someone based on that first impression, and it only lasts 7 seconds, and this is why it's so important. Be clean, well shaved, even if you're gonna be in a job interview.
The
Clean
hair.
face, the hair. For example, right now, I'm sorry, I'm not in a job interview, so I'm wearing a hat. Don't wear a hat. I'm doing everything that I'm not supposed to be doing, and I did it on purpose, right? So, for example, for women, using a casual dress, a casual blouse, something that is not too much revealing, something that is serious and that is also showing that we are serious about the job. So all those little details play to that. All right. If we're setting up our camera and we're using a cell phone camera, for example, setting it up nicely so it doesn't move and wobbles, and that is showing, because all of these little details say a lot of words, and a lot of words that are hidden. So it's like reading between the lines, right? If I see that someone is not prepared, that shows me that that person, one, is not committed. It shows me that that person is not interested too much about the job because they didn't put the detail before actually getting into the job interview, which was for that. Not having any noise or not having well lighting like in a room, all of those little details.
Yeah.
Now, so also punctuality, right? This is really important.
Timing.
One thing is never be late. It's really, really bad to be late. I don't have to be repeating this. I see that in this room, all of you are adults, and I don't have to be telling you to don't be late. But let me tell you something. Also, don't be too early. Why? What if you have a job interview and you come 30 minutes before your job interview? That tells the employer, well, one, it can give a bad impression because the company needs to give you additional time that they had probably for another candidate to be sure that you have the accommodations or that you didn't plan yourself well. It can give a wrong impression. So now a good time frame is to arrive to 10 to 15 minutes before. And during that time, what we should do? Nothing. And when I say nothing, I don't mean playing with my hair while I'm waiting, like let's say in a reception from a place that I'm applying to, or just a little office that I'm like, they tell me wait 10 minutes, we'll get back for you, and I'm playing with my hair, checking my cell phone, picking on my teeth, or or grooming myself. I don't know. It can be different things. One thing we should do is respect our posture and be nice to everyone. That's everything that you need to do. keeping eye
Mhm.
contact to everybody that is in the room, smile to everybody that is in the room, saying hi to everyone, the cleaner, the person that was in the reception, the person that is
Mm,
welcome us, everyone, say hi to everyone. Why?
yeah.
Because after your job interview is done, what they will ask is that people and tell them, what do you think about the candidate?
Yep.
And they will say, you know what? While she was here or while he was here, he was in social media all the time, laughing, giggling, watching YouTube, or they were eating like a sandwich and they were like, like crumbles all over the place.
Mhm.
So your interview starts since the moment that you step up a foot in that company, in that workplace, in that organization. That's where your job interview starts. Okay.
Yeah.
Teacher,
So
I'm sorry, teacher.
tell me.
Sometimes I look for her dress when you go in salon. I look the people, the woman. She have a beautiful hair. Okay, she's a good hairdress, but she's not. The hair it's bad. Okay, I don't want. Do you understand me?
Yes, and that's true because again, it might sound like we are superficial, but that's the truth. If we see someone that is not caring on themselves, that's also going to represent the company. It's going to represent their manners. It's going to represent on themselves, on their attitude towards the things that they do. Because let's say me, all right, if I come to a job interview with my beard all done, I even have like, a booger, or I don't know. I'm just like, telling you, or like I was eating a burrito and I have like crumbles all
Uh-oh.
over my shirt and like, oh, I'm sorry, let me clean myself, right? That's a really bad impression. And we should
It
be
is.
sure to have all those little details clean. And I mean
Mhm.
clean as a whole picture, not like clean from be clean before a job interview. Okay. So
Mhm.
now,
Yeah.
and here what I was mentioning before about those protocols, right? We need to be polite with everybody. And I don't have to tell you this, be
Mhm.
polite. Being polite should be like a quality of every person. But sometimes we need to say it because, it's sometimes even because we're nervous, it can happen. There's
Yeah.
certain people that because they get nervous, anxious before a job interview, they can get like socially awkward or they don't know what to do or they get really
Mhm.
tense and they don't want to be talking with anyone because they are focusing in the job interview. But that's also where we don't have to show it, right? If we are anxious inside ourselves, let's breathe it out. Let's like sit down, 1, 2, 3 in, 1, 2, 3 out. We
Yeah.
breathe it out before the job interview. So that way we're not showing out that we were nervous or that we're fidgeting or like playing with our keys and grabbing our headphones and like, trying to get that stress and release it out. Because sometimes all those things are things that we don't notice and that we do it subconsciously. So let's remember everything that we do that is subconscious also shows an image of ourselves. So we need to be aware of what are those little things that we do. For
Mhm.
example, something that I do in Spanish is something that we call here in the United States a mullet. What is that? In Español, I speak Spanish. In Español, I will say desde, let me think about it. You know what I mean? So it's that
Mhm.
it's a little timing where you're thinking about a response,
Yeah.
and that looks
Yeah.
really bad, and I
Mhm.
keep doing it. And I do it, sometimes I do it when I'm with someone who I'm confident with. I do it with my family, and I say, desde, but now, for example, when I was training for my first job interview in the United States, I had to like be aware of those things. Oscar, don't say but, don't say don't think about it. Like if you're thinking
Yeah.
about a response, think about it. Take your time and answer. You don't need to insert any sound in the middle. Okay,
Yeah.
because there's no need. And actually, sometimes as a little silence in a job interview, it's okay because they know that you don't just like speak whatever you think, that you're
Mhm.
elaborating a response and that you're someone who wants to say what is proper and appropriate. So again, a
Yeah.
silence is not bad, but don't say all right.
Mhm.
So moving on.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking a little bit about job interviews and the different ways, but now it's different ways on how to see that if they are in person or they are remote, right? In Zoom, I mean, which happens a lot. Now, something that we always need to do, if someone approaches you to say hi and you're sitting down, stand up. Never say handshake when you're sitting like, oh, hi, mucho gusto. No, stand up, pump your chest and like, mucho gusto, my name is Oscar. Mucho gusto, my name is Aisha. Nice meeting you, my name is Leticia. So
don't tell hi, my name is Leticia. Give them no.
No, yes. No, yeah. We need to stand up. We need to
Yes.
handshake them firmly, you know. Always
Yeah.
a handshake has to be firm, right? Even in Mexico, for example, I'm from Mexico. We have the custom to say hi, even if we are, let's say, in a business setting, to say hi and give like a kiss, right? Even though it's not like, you know, like something, but like a shake kiss, right? Here in the United States, physical contact is really limited. So
Yeah.
this is like some cultural barriers or cultural clashes that we have. And at least for Latinos or any other countries that we are more physical, right?
For
We
my
like that
country
touch.
too.
Yeah, we're more touchy. We like
Yeah.
that approach and we like to get close to people. Here in the United States, we tend to like be more cold, if you want to say it that way. But something where you show a lot of attitude is with your handshake. A firm, strong handshake tells a lot about someone. If you give me a handshake and you give me just your fingers and then like, wow, it even feels weird. Try to do that. Try to do that with someone and receive a handshake just grabbing like the fingers, something that is not strong. It can tell you a lot about somebody. It can tell you that they are weak. It can tell you that they are undecisive. It can tell you that they are probably even someone not to trust. So someone who gives you a firm handshake tells you that that person is confident, that this person is secure, and that's someone who is trustworthy, okay? So between other things, but just to consider handshake, really important. Now, always looking at the eye, you say hi to somebody, you stand up, looking at the eye, smile, hi, my name is Oscar, nice meeting you. Hi, my name is Aisha, my pleasure. Insert whatever you want to say. Even sometimes, you know, to give it a little bit of personality, this is something that I do. I won't say to you to say it. For example, myself, I like sometimes to introduce like a word in my language. For example, hola, my pleasure. My name is Oscar. Now, this is something that I use personally to bring up my cultural background and that I'm from another country. So this gives like a different, you know, you can use it depending on what situation you are. Sometimes, for example, it's useful, sometimes it's not. But again, that's my own style. I'm not telling you to use it. Now, and also.
But it's a good style too.
Again?
No, I said, but it's a good style too.
Right, because it gives me, so it also tells a story. It says a lot about myself, that I'm a foreign national. It says that I have a cultural background. It says that I also have a story, and it says that I know another language. Look at that. That's another way of selling myself. Even though I just said hola with a perfect accent in Spanish, like, wow, he's bilingual. So that says a lot of things before even them reading my resume. So now moving on. So what to bring in a job interview? What not to bring is your cell phone, playing fidgeting with your cell phone, or coming with a bag of lunch, you know, that's some things not to bring. But definitely what you need in your job interview is a folder with a copies of your resume. It doesn't matter that you send your resumes before in you know, in your email, or you send them in the job application. You bring them also printed. Why? Because it might come a time that they will tell you, hey, I don't have your resume. Do you have a copy? Sure, I have. And that said that you're someone who is organized and who is prepared. Pen and paper, right? To take notes. It's really good to be taking notes because that shows that you're interested about the job and you're someone organized. Also, to come prepared with questions not from them to you, but you to them. That shows that you are someone who has attention to detail. It shows that you were prepared for the interview and that you're interested about the company. That you're not just applying because you saw the opening. You're actually interested about the company and you want to be part of it. That you did your homework, all right? And of course, mint. Please bring mints because sometimes it happens. We've been out like the whole day. You might get too close with people, and it's always a fresh bread is also really good. So bring a pack of mints with you, not chewing gum, all right? And also always be sure that you have the actual address to where you're going. Check it beforehand. There's a lot of apps you might know about it, Google Maps, or also for those ones who are Apple users, also the Apple Maps, where you can see even what train station to take, how long it's gonna take you to walk there, how long it's gonna take you to get into the building. Take all those things into consideration and use it for your plan into getting there. Because again, we don't wanna be late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna show you a little video here. Now, this guy, he speaks a little fast, but what I will do, I will show you the closed captions. Can everyone see the guy that is in the screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, that's good. So now give me 1 second. I will share this again, only because I need to share audio.
The most crucial part of the job search, an interview. Arguably the most crucial part of the job search, an interview can make or break an opportunity. So to help you really prepare, we're going to dissect and analyze an entire interview from start to finish. I'll be sprinkling in a mix of tips about body language, etiquette, and how to answer common questions. Like when exactly does the interview start? How do you deal with nerves? And how soon can you follow up? For years, athletes have used science and data analysis to improve. Now, we are doing the same for job seekers everywhere. This is Job Science. Meet Anya, a recent grad majoring in business administration. She's interviewing for an entry-level project management position. Note her posture. Head up, shoulders pulled back, no slouching, and no laid backness. The interview begins the minute you walk into the building. Anya treats everyone in the office with respect while keeping eye contact. From security personnel to receptionists, anyone you run into on your way in could be asked to give feedback on you. It's normal to be nervous. When nerves kick in, the natural human response is to take short breaths and breathe faster. Stay calm by taking a deep breath before entering. Hold it, count to 3, and then slowly breathe out. Pause. First, ace those introductions. Greet everyone in a way that is authentic to you, like, hey, nice to meet you, and then say their name. That one always works. You know, you're more likely to remember their name if you say it out loud when you first meet. A lot of the time, small talk comes up before any questions. It's good to have a few current events or topics in mind. You can't possibly predict what they're going to ask, but you can practice answering the common ones, like, why do you want to work here? What makes you unique? Let's see what our interviewer asks.
So I want to hear more. Tell me a little about your experience and what you'd bring to this role.
Pause. When this is asked, they're looking to learn what makes you stand out. Be honest with your answers. If that means having to pause and think for a second, that is all right. Think about your past experiences and how the role lines up with your future goals. It never hurts to be honest.
Great question. Ever since I was young, I've always been the organized one in my family. Whether it was helping my parents schedule vacations or color coordinating my closet, naturally that lifestyle got me here, project management. I've been a people person for as long as I can remember. Plain and simple, I love team building and making sure everyone has a part. Just the other month.
Ooh, just really quick, don't speak negatively about previous places you've worked. Instead, Talk about what you've learned.
I helped lead a team of 5 to deliver a 3-week sales project a few days ahead of schedule. I'd love to bring these things here.
Perfect. A response like this not only answers the question, but also shows off her personality. But remember, there's no one right way to interview and answer questions. Be yourself and let your personality shine. Be aware of your movements. Practice polite, confident body language. Subtly miming your interviewer's posture can actually create a sense of connection. Of all places, unnecessary movements are hard to ignore in an interview. Whether it's tapping your fingers or bouncing your leg, be aware and stay present.
Hey, it's been great chatting so far. I guess my last question is, do you have any questions for me?
Ooh, this is a hot one. Make sure to have a short list of questions for your employer in your back pocket. Ask the questions you would if you got the job. If tomorrow was your first day, what would you want to know from the manager? Even if you don't have any burning questions, asking a few shows that you did your homework and that you really care. Some include, what do you like best about working here? What are some mistakes people have made in this position? What is a goal you're currently working toward? How will my performance be evaluated?
Well, I did read that you're expanding your sophomore team next quarter. I'm curious how you plan to carry that out.
The interview isn't actually over. Always follow up within 24 hours with a thank you email to the hiring manager. This can be a quick note simply thanking them for their time, or a longer one that elaborates on some of the things you talked about. It's key to leaving a lasting impression. This was the breakdown of an interview. Till next time.
Muy bien, entonces por el momento, ¿alguien tiene alguna pregunta antes de que siga? No, bueno, seguimos entonces.
Great.
Solo denme un segundo en lo que cambio de pantalla, ¿está bien? Muy bien, continuamos. Entonces, algo de lo que les comentaba. Mándeme.
Teacher, I think you speak in Spanish.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that it was an English class.
Teacher, you say pantalla. What is that?
My apologies. Now, I forgot that it was an English class and I don't work for the Consulate of Mexico anymore.
That's okay. We got it.
All right. Well, now that everyone can see my screen, this is why it sounded weird in my head. Like, am I speaking English? All right. So one of the protocols that is for the virtual interview, well, it is having everything clear. And this is for the virtual interviews, okay? The video that we saw before, it was for the in-person interview. And as I said before, sometimes interview can be one Zoom interview first, and then the second one or final can be in person. So things to consider is testing our microphone before. Be sure that, you know, your camera works before the day. Put like in a place in your house, put out a place where it's like looks tidy, looks clean. If you have only, let's say you live in a dorm, in a room, and you have your bed and you can see it from the camera, that's fine. At least that you have it, like, you know, your bed done, that is clean, that your room is clean. Not like, you know, having all your mess around, right? That you have good lighting, that you have like bring a lamp or something. If you're a family member, if you're a head of household, you have kids, you have a little baby, I know, and everyone understand that that's our personal situations, right? That means that we all are facing all of that, being from home and being with our families around. So take a moment and say a family member and say to everyone, you know what, at 6 p.m. I'm gonna have a job interview. Can you help me out with the baby during this time? Or, you know, I will really appreciate for everyone not to make a lot of noise because I'm gonna be taking a job interview at 6 p.m. Or even, you know what, I'll go to the public library. I'm gonna take my job interview from the public library because I need a quiet space. and that's valid.
Mhm.
But we need to make those arrangements so we are sure that we are having a first impression, a first good impression, okay? And also about the attire, don't bring like anything like too shiny. You know, sometimes I like shirts like that have flowers and stuff. Bring something solid. Bring something that is sober and not like too, you know, too shiny, you know, in terms of colors or too much color, because that also
Yeah.
can it can look bad in the camera. So we want everything to be neutral.
Oh, yeah.
So, and also, as I was saying before, well, also having water. That's really important. It's okay if you have a glass of water during a job interview and sip from time to time. Not like, let's say, you have this water bottle and you're taking the job interview and you're moving the water bottle all over the place. Well, yes, thank you so much. I want to take this job. Thank you. You know, doing those kind of things. You don't want to have that, you know, a nice cup of water, something that you can have here. A cup of coffee is fine again. And always, as I was saying before, check me out. Do you feel that I'm looking you at the eye?
Yes.
Hi. Thank you so much. I really want this job. This is something that I think is going to be really helpful to me. What do you feel when I was saying that? It felt that I was talking to you, right?
Yes.
So that's specifically what we all need. I need you all, even again, if you're taking it from your cell phone, grab something, put it in an elevated space, put a little book. If you don't have that tripod that costs $10 and you don't have the money to pay for it, that's fine. Grab a book, put it like in a place where you know you have a good angle, and that's fine. Take the job interview that way. But something that you need to be is prepared for. You don't want them to call you at 6 p.m. for your job interview and you're rushing from the train station with your cell phone moving all over the place, right? We or you know like this. Hi, hey, just wait for me a little bit. I'm here finding a space to talk with you. We don't want that.
Nope.
Employers don't need that. They don't want that. They want you to be prepared. They want
Yeah.
you that if they told you that at 6 p.m. was your job interview, they want to know that that was your priority, that you did the time, that you prepared to be there. All right. Just
Yep.
as they did, because they also put an effort to be there. And something for the job interviews that are over the phone, this is a quick tip. Always smile. And I will do that practice right now. So no one can see my camera now. So now I'm speaking to all of you, and I will say another thing again. Well, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm really excited about this job, and I really, really want the job. Now, I will show that again with the face that I was doing. Hi, thank you so much for this job. I'm really, really excited for this opportunity, and I really want this job. Do you see that? All the time that I was talking off the camera, I was smiling, because that's something that you won't see it in a camera, but something that is magic. People can sense when you're talking to them and they are smiling. It's something that it gets transferred, and that demonstrates like your positiveness and that you are someone who really, really wants this opportunity. So again, always keep smiling even if they are not seeing you, okay? And even if it is a phone call, dress. If you know they're gonna call you at 6 p.m. and it's only a phone call, get dressed, because that also gonna give you confidence. If they call you and you're wearing shorts or jean clothes, that's not gonna give you any confidence. Wear like dress, even though they're not gonna see you. Okay, that's also good for the mind. All right, so moving forward, Antonio, just a quick check. How long do we have? Can anyone tell me what time this class is off? Like 8 p.m.?
7:30.
Yeah.
Oh, 7:30. All right, that's good. Thank you so much. Now, now there's like a lot of, you know, tools or applications to have meetings like in camera. It is Google Meet, it is Zoom, it is Microsoft Teams, you name it. There's a lot of applications now. So if you got scheduled for a job interview, don't assume that, you know, it's gonna be on Zoom, because it might be that at the time in the interview, you log in and you discover that it's in another application that you didn't have installed or you didn't have an account. That happens really often. So be sure what is the type of application that they are asking you to connect with. If you don't have an account, be sure that before you download the app, or if you're using a computer, to install the software, to try it with your camera, if it's working in your cell phone, to make an account if you don't have one, because you don't want to encounter yourself that is 6 p.m. and you are creating a user in your cell phone and you don't have anything ready. So those little things that it's gonna put you one step ahead, right? Try yourself, you have someone who can help you, like a friend. You can, hey, let's try my cell phone and let me know if my app is working. So you can schedule a Zoom call, for example, and see if your camera looks good, if your microphone sounds well, and if your lighting and your setting, it looks fine, okay? So that's like something that we can do ahead. And something that is also really useful, record yourself. That's a really good practice, because you can like practice a job interview by yourself or with someone, and you do all the steps, dressing properly. You can give the person, you know, some questions for practicing, and you can record yourself and see yourself again and see, oh, you know what, this answer, I can improve it. Or, you know, here I was looking to, you know, I was looking to the ceiling, or I was looking to the floor. You know, that way we can read ourselves and see if we're doing a good job. And that's like a way into reviewing if we're doing all the proper steps. And as I was saying before, for the job interviews, always dress properly, keep smiling, keep your phone charged. You never know what happened. They get you 7 p.m. You were rushing from your other job. You've been out of the house for the whole day, but you knew that you had your job interview at 7 p.m. You didn't charge your phone because you were in Instagram and TikTok the whole day. So you don't have any more battery. So be sure that your cell phone is charged. Be sure that you have everything ready. Those things are happening. Those things happen. All right. And also prepare notes and be sure that you are in a quiet place where you can eliminate distraction as much as you can. And if you can, set a professional voicemail. And what I mean by that, let's say by one reason or another, they call to your cell phone and you don't have a voicemail set up. And they call you and they say, you know, you have like a weird message. They say, hey, what's up? This is Oscar. Thank you for calling. Leave a message. So you want something like, you know, if you need help with your message, you can always cite someone, or you can re-record and say like, hi, hola, hi, my name is Oscar. Thank you so much. Leave a message. You can, like, you know, something short, just to keep it professional. And if by any chance you miss their call and they need to leave a message for you, at least you have a professional voicemail, something that sounds good. And always is useful to use headphones. Now, I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm not trying to say everybody to invest in headphones, okay? Now, when we wear those really big headphones, right? Like the ones that are like big and chunky, sometimes you can say that we're someone who is really close to everybody and that we are not paying attention to our surroundings.
Yes.
All right. So that means that, all right, so we're someone who focuses, but that means that I'm also, you know, it's like a racing horse, you know, that they have like these little flaps so they don't sit to the side. Imagine that thing is an image that says that we're somebody who is not open to listening to somebody. So again, but, and on the other hand, I won't tell you, Domingos, you need to buy $200 headphones, wireless, because you need to look fine in your job interview. All right. I'm not saying you that, but what I'm telling you, for example, there's like these little headphones that are wired that you can plug to your computer that are discreet and small. Those ones can also go a long way. And that in ways of, you know, keeping everything tidy. Even, for example, the cable, if you don't want the cable to be showing up and having a white cable, you know, running all over the place, you can hide it inside your shirt. And, you know, no one will notice too much that you're wearing like that headphone. And this is for the purpose of a job interview. For your classes, do as you please, okay? And of course, something that you're gonna be receiving some help with is mock interviews. Mock interviews is a practice of an interview, like how a job interview will look like. This is something that Antonio will give you more details into preparing you. Well, you will have this mock interview. That is a practice, and this is like also part of your training and of your class, okay? So here I'm gonna show you one last video.
Hi, everybody, and welcome.
Also, same thing, I will put closed captions so everyone see. And let me see if you all can, give me 1 second, I'll share this again. I will share this with sound. Can everyone see my, yes.
Welcome. My name is Jen, and I'm a career coach at Indeed with over 10 years of experience working in career services. Over the years, I've worked with hundreds of job seekers as they've prepared for their next interviews, and today I'm going to share a little bit of that advice with you. So today in this video, we're going to talk about how you can best prepare for your next interview. And be sure to stick around until the end of the video where we're going to cover an important tip that most people forget about. It's a small step that can have a really big payoff. So let's begin. First up, approach your research from a big to small mindset. Okay, so what does that mean? So what I've noticed over the years is that some people tend to focus on either big concepts, like focusing research on the company, or they can focus on the small details, like looking into just the job description or the interviewer. The truth is that good research is going to ask you to do both and everything in between. This is a good way to begin your interview preparation because it's going to give you the context to articulate your skills and experience and connect them to the company's mission and goals. Let's break down what you should be looking for as you're conducting your research. You should make sure that you're researching the company, the job description, and the interviewer. If you're new to researching, be sure to allot at least 30 minutes to research each category. Begin your research by starting with the largest concept, the company. And when researching the company, be sure to check out multiple sources. Start by visiting the company's website and reading up on their About Us or their product or service offerings pages. Here you can find information about what their mission is and what they value. You know that you've conducted really good research when you can speak to how your personal goals align with the goals of the company, or how your skill set can be used to support or even better enhance the services that they offer to customers. Once you've heard about the company from their own perspective, do some research into what other people are saying about them. Company pages on Indeed.com are a great place to start to find reviews from current and former employees on hundreds of companies. If you check out this link right here, you can see reviews on what the interview process is like, and you can also see pictures and videos from the company's social media channels. You can highlight your research during the interview by aligning your personal goals to the goals of the company. For example, if during the research you see that the company is active in the community, mention your desire to work with a community-focused organization when they ask you, why do you want to work here? Next, review the job description. When reviewing a job description, your goal is to gain a better understanding of the responsibilities and the requirements of the position. This will ensure that you can articulate how and why you're qualified for this role. Use the information you find in the job description to help you prepare for questions that could be asked to qualify your skills. When you check out the job description, look at the requirements, and then think about questions that the interviewer could ask you. Think to yourself, if I was looking to find a candidate for this role, what skills would they need to have? Then consider how you would answer that question. It can help to think of past examples from your work experience that demonstrate the skills required for the role, and then practice sharing them succinctly. I'll go more in depth on how to do that later in this video. Now you'll want to get granular with your research by focusing on the person or people who will be conducting your interview. To find out who you're interviewing with, first, check to see if they're included within the email invite that was sent for the interview, or you can also see if they're listed in the confirmation email that the recruiter sent over. If your interview has already been scheduled and you don't see this information, it's completely appropriate to reach out to the recruiter or the hiring manager to see if they can provide the name or names of the people that you're going to be meeting with. When researching your interviewer, focus on looking at their professional journey and see how they've managed to reach their level of success. Look for commonalities in your background, education, or even your interests. check out professional sources like the company website to see if they have a public-facing employee profile, or you can check out professional social media sites as well. This research will pay off when you can casually mention commonalities in small talk or as appropriate during the interview. Highlighting your similarities can create a stronger human connection, and it can create a positive feeling in relation to your interviewer. After you've conducted your research, the next step in preparing for an interview is to practice common interview questions. You'll want to practice a variety of questions, including general, situational, behavioral, and if applicable, technical questions that pertain to your industry. One of the first questions you can expect to be asked during an interview is, tell me about yourself. This is your opportunity to give a 2 to 3 minute professional summary about who you are and where you are in your career. We cover this question more in depth in this video right here, so be sure to check it out. Once you can succinctly share who you are as a professional, it's smart to practice answering some common behavioral-based interview questions. Not sure what a behavioral-based interview question is? If you've ever been asked a question that begins with, give me an example of, or tell me about a time when, you've just been asked one. The goal of a behavioral-based interview question is to get a better understanding about what your level of experience is working in certain situations and how you behaved. When answering a behavioral-based interview question, one of the best strategies for formatting your answers is to follow the STAR method. STAR stands for Situation, Task, Action, Result. This format sets you up to tell a complete and coherent story while getting to the point quickly. Other common questions you can practice answering are, what are your greatest strengths? And why do you want to work for this company? Your goal when answering these questions is to sell yourself by sharing the most positive and relevant experience from your work history. An interview is not the time to be modest about sharing your accomplishments. Your potential employer wants to know that you're the right fit and can deliver something to the company. So you want to share examples that demonstrate how you've been able to deliver results in the past. In addition to some of these more straightforward interview questions, be sure to practice a few high-pressure questions as well. Try to think of a few things that you would be uncomfortable being asked and then prepare on how you would answer them. Some common high-pressure questions that you could be asked include explaining a gap on your resume if you have one. It could also include asking why you're looking to leave your current company or why you're looking to switch industries. And it can also include being asked what your salary expectations are. These questions intimidate almost everyone, but they don't have to throw you off in an interview if you've practiced how to answer them. This can happen to any one of us, but it's easy to keep the interview on track if you just ask for some time to think. Practice saying, that's a great question. Give me a moment to think about that. Take the time to gather your thoughts before sharing your answer. A momentary pause can be a powerful tool to stay in control and feel confident about the information you're sharing. Before I move on to the next tip, let me know if this information is helpful by liking and subscribing for more advice. Once you've prepared to answer questions that are directed to you, it's smart to also take a moment to practice some questions that you can ask in return. When there's about 5 to 10 minutes left at the end of an interview, it's really likely for the interviewer to ask if you have any questions for them. In this case, it's smart to come prepared with 2 to 3 questions that you can ask that will help you learn more about the company. For example, you can ask, what does a typical day look like for somebody in this role? Or ask, how would my performance be measured? If you're struggling to think of questions that you could ask, it also helps to think about, what information would you need to know to start this job tomorrow? An additional benefit to asking questions during the interview is that it helps to clarify any concerns that you might have as to whether or not the company or the role could be a good fit for you. And as a general rule, be sure to keep your questions professional and focus on the company and the position. If you'd like some more information about questions that you can ask at the end of an interview, be sure to check out this career guide article right here. Once you've prepared for what you're going to say during an interview, you can now turn to considering how you're going to present yourself as the best possible candidate. This can include focusing on details like clothing, punctuality, and application materials. In terms of what you're going to wear, take clues as to how their employees are dressing when you're doing your company research and aim to dress one level above that. As a best practice, choose business casual attire. Next, plan to be on time. I know this can be easier said than done, but the key is to expect the unexpected. For example, if you're going to be interviewing by video, be sure to check your camera, microphone, audio, and your internet at least one day before the interview. If you're planning on interviewing on site, be sure to arrive at least 15 minutes early. Finally, plan to come to the interview with the materials that you need to be successful. This can include printing out extra copies of your resume to have on hand, or to bring a pen and notebook just in case you'd like to take notes. Now it's time to put your preparation to the test by conducting a mock interview. A mock interview is a great tool to help you feel more prepared because it's going to give you the opportunity to practice your responses and get feedback on how you can improve. The best mock interviewers are going to be career coaches or professionals in your industry or field, but really anybody can be a mock interviewer as long as they have a list of related interview questions and they're willing to give you honest feedback about how you can improve your answers. To take your mock interview to the next level, try to mimic the interviewing environment as closely as possible. This includes dressing in the clothes that you would wear the day of the actual interview, bringing those extra copies of your resume or that pen and notebook we talked about, and it can also include imitating the interview setting. For example, if your interview is going to be on-site, try to meet with your mock interviewer in person. If you're preparing for a virtual interview, try setting up a phone or video interview. If possible, record your mock interview so that you can review it afterward and see how confidently you're sharing your experience and skills. And now for the bonus tip that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Convey confidence in what you say and do. Pay attention to how you're presenting yourself with your body language and with your tone of voice to ensure that you're coming across confident, poised, and prepared for the role. If you're really interested in taking a critical look at how you're demonstrating confidence, try to record and review your mock interviews. However, in my opinion, confidence is all about a mindset. Remember, interviewing is not a one-way street. You should be evaluating employers just as much as they're evaluating you. And that's the built-in benefit of thorough preparation. It empowers you to walk into an interview assured of your unique value. So there you have it. To recap, my advice to help you prepare for your next interview includes researching the company, job description, and the interviewer. Then, practice answers to common interview questions. Prepare 2 to 3 questions that you can ask at the end of an interview. Consider your day of presentation. Conduct a mock interview. And convey confidence in what you say and do. So that's how you can prepare for your next interview. I hope you found this information to be helpful and that you're able to apply it to your next interview prep. Or maybe just pass it along to somebody else who might need it. If you like this video and you'd like to see more like it, be sure to hit the notification bell to stay updated. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Hi everybody, and welcome. My name is Jen, and I'm a career coach.
Sir, can I say something, please?
Please, Antonio.
Yeah, this thing is way too fast. It's either on fast food or that lady is on too much caffeine. So please, can you share this video with me so I can share it with the students?
Yes, Antonio, I will share with you the whole presentation, and it includes the video so everyone will be able to see it at home.
Yeah, she's speaking too fast and her English not properly clear, and it's a lot of information. It's going over the head. I can see our students can understand English, but not that fast.
All right. Do you think that I speak faster than her? Do you think that I speak faster than she does?
No, I don't think so. I think you speak
That's
well.
good. That's good.
But she's just throwing a lot of information on a fast forward level. And like I told you, either on fast forward, a lot of coffee. Please share it with us when you have a chance, please.
Thank you will, Antonio. Thank you. So some of the common questions that you will be asked on any job, it doesn't matter which one. So one of the things that they will ask you first is, tell me about yourself, all right? And what is this? It can be a lot of things. It doesn't have to be about the job. You can share a personal detail. For example, you can share, well, hi, my name is Oscar. I really enjoy, doing this, doing that. But again, you need to focus on a story. You can tell a little detail that you want to share with the employer, but without going too far, right? You want to share a detail that is captivating. It's like I was telling you in the beginning, you're selling yourself. Like, give them something to captivate the employer or the interviewer so they keep asking more things and they want to learn more about you, right? So for that, we have to be concise, we have to be specific, and we need to also connect why that little piece of detail that we're sharing is connected to the job that we want to do, right?
Yeah.
So some of the questions that also that we need to, you know, as I was saying before, something really important that we need to keep in mind is that we need to come prepared to share also questions to the employer. We need to be ready to ask them things that we want to do. Let's say, for example, by the end of an interview, someone tells us, do you have a question for us? And we say, no, I don't have any more questions. All right, that's it. They will say, you know what? He's not even interested. He didn't even have a question. And you don't need to come up with a super elaborated question. You can even ask, for example, what do you like about your job? Why do you like to work here? Or you can ask details about the company in why it's so good to work for this company. Or you can ask about the position specifically, even asking about the salary range. That's question that a lot of people always is fearful to ask. Like, what is the salary range for a position? Because we might feel that, oh, they won't call me again if I ask this now. You know, that's something really common. And also asking for questions that stand from the other people can always make us stand from the crowd. So for example, if we want to define about a really specific position, is how do we define, you know, success for that position, or what are going to be the challenges for this position? Or we can even ask, what is a typical day of this position? You know, what is something that I will find in this position or in this job that is typical of it? Something that, you know, that makes me want to get into the job, right? So always after a job interview, something really important to do is writing a thank you email, a thank you letter. Always a good idea to do that, always after the job interview, because we want them to keep that communication flowing with us. And we also want to be thankful of the time that they did for us, right? Usually a good manner is to do it 24 hours after the job interview. And that way we can secure that, one, they have our contact, that we are also interested about the position, and that our willingness to work there is there, okay? Now, this is an example of how that email could look like. So it can be like, again, it's a thank you email. It can be as easy as, thank you once again for meeting with me earlier today and discussing for, you know, this position. I enjoy learning more about the position. And well, as I mentioned during our conversation, I think that my skills will be particularly valuable in contributing to your work. You'll be able to see this sample when I share it to Antonio. But that's really simple. You don't need to write, you know, a 2-page thank you email. Something really concise that shows to the employer that you are open to work there, and that the meeting and interview that you had with them, to you, it was valuable. So, and as always, you know, it's always, we are, let's say, heading into the job interview. We need to visualize ourselves in that position, breathe, keep calm. I know that sometimes it's, you know, it's stressful to go to a job interview, but if we get all of our steps in place, having the mock interview, doing our research, getting there with time, be prepared, knowing about the company, and bring everything we need, our attire, our clothes are fine and well looking. So then everything is there, right? Everything that we need to get that job is there. In the next step is only ours, like, you know, to land that job and to do the best that we can to show the company that we are the best candidates, okay? Now, does anyone have a question?
No questions, anyone?
No question, anyone? Am I that clear, really? Am I that good of a presenter? Wow, or I really tired them, Antonio, they want to go to sleep, or I'm a really good presenter. It can be both.
No, I don't think so. I think it was
No, you did a really good job though.
Well, that's definitely good news to me. And again,
Yeah.
something that you will all receive is my presentation. It will include the videos. If I
Okay.
find another useful resource, you'll get it. And also something, Antonio, I know that they all receive information about the career coaching program. You know your timing about this class. So
Yeah.
we're always welcoming students. And
Thank you.
and again, thank you so much to everybody. It was really nice being with all of you. I hope that you like the presentation, that you like the job that the
Yes,
career
we do.
coaches have been doing. I am just like, all of the job, all of the good work, Wilfried, Thais, and my partner Fabian are the ones who do all the good job. I am only the one who collects everything and reports. Okay, I'm only someone today,
No,
but I hope that
you did a great job too. You're not collecting report tonight. You actually
that's
shared.
good. That's good.
So
Oh,
really happy to have you, Oscar. Thank you
that's
so much
good.
for doing your thing.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
being said,
you.
thank you so much, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Listen, please don't go away. Wait a minute, everybody. So I'm going to send you some questions and some video. We already saw these questions, but these questions are for you to answer in preparation for the mock job interview next Tuesday. Okay? So next Tuesday, you're going to be in a Zoom, and then they will put you in a breakout room, just you and an interviewer. And they're going to ask you the question, but you're going to have all these questions before this person asks you this question. So I will send you these questions tomorrow, and you can look at it throughout the weekend. You can answer the question, practice it, and if you have any questions, call me or send me a text. And on Tuesday, you will be on a job interview, okay? Mock job interview, and that will be the end of the class. And then on Wednesday, we will have our graduation, okay? It's a virtual Zoom graduation, and you will
Thursday
receive
party.
and prep.
I said Thursday we're gonna throw party.
Yeah, nice spot.
Yeah, for our graduation. So.
In the past, when you used to have, in-person class, we used to have like a big party, and everybody would cook some food from their country, and they would bring it. It was awesome. The only thing is like, we couldn't have alcohol in that building. The building, no alcohol. It was just food.
Bring caipirinha for you.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I'm gonna bring caipirinha for you.
Oh, thank you. All right, guys.
Anthony, I will let you find the details with your class. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again.
Oscar.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
too.
Thank you too.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye,
We'll keep in touch, okay? I will send you information about this. And also, like I said, I will be calling you to have a one-on-one interview so we can prepare what we're going to do the next step, okay? And everybody who's interested in get a better job or get through the process of working with a job specialist, you just have to let me know. I will send your name to Oscar, and Oscar will put you in contact with Thais, Wilfrix, and Fabian, which is another of this young man. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So,
All right.
thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
great day.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.